Welcome to Tips and Tricks from Twin Busch. Topic: lifting arm locking system.
Verriegelung, Tragarmblockierung.
Sense and purpose, how to adjust them and what must be considered. The arm locking system consists of two parts. Here we have the pressure piece on the push rod and the half moon gear, which is fixed to the lifting arm with 3 mounting screws. The push rod is activated when lowering, and it releases the arm so it can be swung in and out under the car. And when lifting the carriage, the spring pushes down the pressure piece, and the lifting arm is locked in its position. The lifting arm locking system is a very important safety mechanism. If something doesn't work, the lift should not be used. This means that the lifting arm should be able to be locked during every lifting process. I prepared small error here. You can see these 3 mounting screws are loose. I can move the arm minimally. Of course, this also gives the arm more playroom than usual. In this case we tighten them. Using the individual components, I will now show you the different versions of the gearings we've had over the years, which we have improved bit by bit in detail. I'll start with a gearing system from a competitor, also a casting piece. Here you can see from the workmanship that nothing actually interlocks form-fittingly. The elongated holes for adjustment are well intentioned, but if something gets loose, then the gear would slide away completely and there would be no form-fitting connection there. Completely unsafe. Our first generation, used until 2012-2013, was also a casting piece, but at least it had a form-fitting connection. The current generation on our 2-post lifts are milled gearings. This means you can be absolutely sure there's a form-fitting connection here. However, it must be adjusted on the lifting arm. On the 5 and 6 ton models, TW250 and TW260, somewhat reinforced gearings were used. A little more robust, bigger, with more grip. That was the first generation, the big ones. In the meantime also converted to the second generation of milled gearings. Through the slight slope here, it's also easy to see that it can cut in cleanly. Pay attention with the 5-ton model. There are no countersunk holes for the Allen screws. M10 screws with hexagon head are used here. It is possible that the gear can also be mounted upside down. So if something doesn't slide in, check first that the gear is mounted in the right position, with the slope fitting the gear and the pressure piece, and then they should slide into each other. I'll show you error sources during the setting of the gearings with the new model. The gears are only pre-mounted on the lifting arm in the factory. This means, if you're assembling a lift by yourself, make sure you adjust the gears correctly, and that you also have a form-fitting connection when lifting a vehicle. Generally, pay attention to this. When lifting a vehicle, raise it 10 to 20 centimeters. Proof the lifting points under the vehicle and also check that the arm locking system is engaged. Only then should you lift up the vehicle and work afterwards. Here you can see the new milled gearings of the actual models, 236p, 242p and so on. The ideal setting on the right side, I have twitched it on the left. Despite movement, the gear is not perfectly engaged here. In this case we loosened the gear.
Jetzt ist er perfekt.
Now it's perfectly locked. Now the gear is fastened.
Die Einstellung ist
The adjustment is almost ideal. When moving, it engages at least 80% of the gearing.
seine Verzahnung. Passt.
It's okay.
Ich habe noch einen
I added
weiteren
another
Fehler
error.
gebaut.
And if you look closely now, I can push the pressure piece out of the way.
Über den Weg hinaus betätigen. Jetzt wäre
Now the arm locking system would be completely out of service. This means, if any lateral forces act on the vehicle, the car would fall down. It could slip off. The ideal setting on the right. You can see a retaining ring on the push rod here. It ensures that the pressure piece can't be pushed out any further, and that it can't be manipulated to deactivate the arm locking system.
außer Kraft setzen kann.
The retaining ring is missing on the left. Now it is certainly possible to swing the pressure piece on top of the lifting arm, on top of the lock. And now it would be out of service. This cannot happen. Both arm locks are perfectly adjusted. However, it is still possible that they are not facing the grip when lifting. As mentioned, a minimal movement of the lifting arm is enough for the gearing to grip here. And then you can lift up the car. That's how it works. Should you need any parts of the arm locking system, meaning the half moon gear or the pressure piece, give us a call. We have them as spare parts. The old models with casting gearings can also be equipped with the milled gearings without any problems. Then you must change the pressure piece and the half moon gear. It works fine.